Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. I thought today I would paint a bouquet. So I have a little still life set up in front of me, and I've already done a little bit of a sketch just to get it organized on the paper here. So you probably can't see too much right now, but there's just enough on there to give me some information about where I want things to be. And I'm going to begin, I'm just using red, yellow, and blue, as always, just keeping it very simple. And I'm just going to do some quick painting. I'm not going to do a lot of talking today. I'm just going to show you how I would go about starting a watercolor. And remember that this paper is really tiny. So I'm working on a sheet of paper that measures approximately 4¼ by 3. So it's a teensy little picture, and which is just fine for doing a quick thumbnail study. So this is typical of the sort of thing that I would do before I painted a full composition. And I really recommend that you have your sketchbooks, or you can make your own sketchbook using the paper of your choice, and just keep it filled with these wonderful little studies. So just very quick. And I'm mixing together all 3 colors to get some neutral tones. And I did not pre-moisten the paper this time. I'm working on a piece of dry watercolor paper, and this is hot press. And I picked this size so that it would fit nicely on a standard size card front. And you know, you can do these quick studies anytime just by using whatever you have around the house. I mean, it doesn't have to be a flower. It could be a fruit or a vegetable. It could be a still life, just a little statue, or whatever you happen to have to hand. Just get into the practice of doing these quick little studies, and I think you'll get quite a lot out of it. Now I'm going to, in just a minute, I'm going to pause and I'm going to check the comments and see if anybody has any questions. And hopefully I'll be able to answer them. So if there was something that you wanted to know, go ahead and type it in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about watercolor, you can go to dandelioncottagedesign.com and subscribe to notes. And also, while you're there, you can check out the Watercolor Card Club, which is a monthly subscription where you learn to paint a new subject in watercolor every month. It comes with a card kit and a Zoom class and a very nice Facebook group where you can post your pictures and ask questions and get lots of tips. And see what everybody else is doing. And the Watercolor Card Club is great for both beginners and experienced painters alike. So everybody learns at their own rate. And it's a very supportive group. You're not going to feel uncomfortable if you're just starting out. Everybody has to start somewhere, and this is a great way to learn what you need to know to begin, and get some guidance to help you on your way. All right, so I'm going to take a quick look now and see if anybody's out there, and if you have any questions for me while I give this just a minute to set up. So let's see. Oh, I see quite a few people. Hi, Peggy, Ginger. Let's see. Ginger says, what makes the specks in the green? And I painted over them. Specks. I don't know. Maybe it was just a little bit of spatter. I'm not being especially fussy about this. It could be that some of the paint just spattered off the end of my brush as I was moving from place to place. I guess to answer your question, I did not intentionally create any specks. So I'm just putting in some leaves here. Sorry I can't answer that question. Maybe if I look at the video afterwards, I'll see what you're talking about, Ginger, and I can get back to you on that. All right, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of drawing on these stems and leaves. Just a little kind of calligraphy here and there. And I'm using a lot of tones that I'm finding on my palette. Just a lot of neutral tones. I also have a beginning watercolor course that you may be interested in, where I talk a lot. There are entire lessons dedicated to value and tones and temperature and all of that sort of thing. And what I'm doing is I'm just making adjustments as I go around the picture. You know, painting is a series of decision making, and you can't always make your next decision until you see what something else does. So it's absolutely fascinating to see what one tone and one color will do to another. Now these flowers are off into shadow here, so I'm going to tone those down a little bit. There we go. And I'm being careful not to get too committed to any one thing at this point. Okay, I'm just thinking about the abstract quality overall, and thinking about the form and where things are in relation to one another. So I'm really not thinking about the flowers very literally at all. Okay, I'm going to mix up some dark tones. And I'm just about done here. A few more touches. want to get a little bit of on this rose. And the bud. And finally, maybe a little something up here. Okay, I think that'll do it. Let's see what questions we might have over here. Oh, thank you, Ginger. You know that if I can inspire you to do something, that is my greatest wish, and that's the motivation I have for doing these things. So I'm very happy to know that. Thank you for saying so. Peggy asked, "Did I stamp the image first?" No, I did not, Peggy. This was a sketch that I did directly from life in front of me, and and it was there was hardly any sketch at all. In fact, if you go to the beginning of the video, you'll see that there's hardly any sketch on the paper at all, and reason being is because this is just it's just meant to be an exercise, you know, just sort of a warming up exercise. I would typically do this sort of thing to prepare for a larger composition, and I wouldn't do just one. I'd do a whole bunch of them. So I would do several different compositions. I would do several different maybe color ways or color palettes, and just do a lot of experimenting to see what works and what doesn't. I think I need a little more green right in here. There we go. All right, so let's get the tape off of here and see how it looks on the card front. So I'm just going to move some things over. Here we go. And here's my my very vanilla thick cardstock, and that would get mounted right on there like so. Okay, And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my stamp sets and see what sentiment would work nicely with this. And for this one, I'm not going to use a colored cardstock layer. I just want to be sort of soft and delicate and just let the watercolor paper cast a little shadow around the edges. So I'm just going to let this dry thoroughly, and then I'll mount it on my card front and I'll add a sentiment, and I will then post that picture for you um, when I'm done. And I will also be including all of the links that you'll need below to learn more about Dandelion Cottage design. You'll be able to subscribe to notes to get on the mailing list for all of my classes, workshops, events, and the Watercolor Card Club subscription. I've got a couple of really fun classes coming right up. If you look back at the previous posts, you'll see that ranunculus romance, and you'll see a little teaser for my honeybee journal. So lots of really good stuff coming right up. And in order to find out more about those things, you want to get onto my mailing list. And the way you do that is by subscribing to notes from DandelionCottageDesign.com. And that's all I've got for you today, everybody. I hope you get your sketchbooks out. And even if you don't have watercolors and you don't have time to set up a little painting area, at least put pencil to paper and do some sketches. There's nothing better. And it's a lot of fun. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.